Welcome. Tonight, we travel back more than 2,000 years to a world of mighty kingdoms, towering mountains, endless deserts, and ancient empires. Our story begins not with a battle, but with a young prince. A boy born into a kingdom many Greeks once dismissed as little more than a rugged frontier. Yet within just 13 years, that young prince would build one of the largest empires the ancient world had ever known. His name was Alexander. To some, he was Alexander the Great, the greatest military commander in history. To others, he was a brilliant conqueror whose ambition reshaped civilizations while leaving countless cities in ruins. More than 23 centuries after his death, historians still debate a simple question. Was Alexander history's greatest general? As always, this documentary is designed to be calm and relaxing. So settle in, close your eyes if you wish, and allow yourself to drift through one of history's most extraordinary journeys. Our story begins in the year 356 BCE in the ancient kingdom of Macedon. Nestled north of the famous Greek city-states of Athens, Sparta, and Thebes, Macedon had long been viewed by many southern Greeks as a rough and uncultured land. Its people spoke a dialect related to Greek, hunted in dense forests, raised horses across broad plains, and lived under the rule of powerful warrior kings. Everything changed under one remarkable ruler, King Philip II. Philip was more than a fearless warrior. He was a visionary military reformer. He transformed the Macedonian army into one of the most disciplined fighting forces the world had ever seen. His soldiers trained relentlessly with the sarissa, a pike stretching nearly 6 meters, far longer than the spears carried by most of their enemies. The Macedonian phalanx became a moving wall of sharpened wood and steel. Combined with swift cavalry, skilled engineers, and careful planning, Philip's army conquered neighboring kingdoms one after another. But while Philip forged an empire with strategy and discipline, another destiny was quietly unfolding inside the royal palace. On a warm summer day in Pella, the Macedonian capital, Queen Olympias gave birth to a son. Ancient writers later filled the story of his birth with legends. Some claimed lightning struck the temple of Artemis on the very night he was born. Others insisted Zeus himself had fathered the child. Whether these stories were believed or simply created afterward, they reflected something important. Even in ancient times, people struggled to explain how one man could accomplish so much in such a short life. The boy would receive the finest education available. At just 13 years old, his father entrusted his education to one of the greatest philosophers in history, Aristotle. For several years, Aristotle taught the young prince philosophy, science, medicine, ethics, geography, literature, and politics. Alexander developed a lifelong admiration for Homer's Iliad, especially its hero, Achilles. He reportedly kept a copy of the epic beside his bed throughout many of his military campaigns, believing Achilles represented the ideal warrior, brave, determined, and destined for greatness. No one, not even Aristotle, could have imagined how far the young prince would travel. Within a generation, his armies would march across 3 continents, overthrow the mighty Persian Empire, found dozens of new cities, and reach the distant frontiers of India. His victories would spread Greek language, art, science, and philosophy across much of the known world, creating a cultural exchange whose influence would endure for centuries. But before Alexander could conquer the world, he would first have to survive his own kingdom.